Lights, camera, action, let's dive in deep. Talking directors, actors, the secrets they keep. From behind the scenes to the silver screen. Hard-hitting questions, nothing in between. We're rated B, rated the podcast sensation. Unveiling truth, sparking conversations. Where every story gets its chance to shine. We're rated B, rated, let's rewind.
So I'm going to try to do this from the hip. Usually Anthony does this, but welcome to berated, B-rated conversations or chats. I can't remember what we really called them anymore. Yeah, but with us tonight is Eric M. Hunter and Ricky Glore, or I think we should do a poll and see if you should legally change your name. You know, legally change your name.
You mean old school MySpace pool,
right? Get your top 8 and then ask them, should he change it to Ricky Gore for doing the horror movies? And then everybody's like, hell yeah, he should.
I think so. Yeah. I think so.
But with us,
I don't think I'm like Herschel Gordon Lewis. Like I don't think I'm that level of Carnival Barker that
you are a level of extra.
It could always develop. But I think like at
now
this
you want to create a character? What are we doing here?
No. I'm just saying like, okay, but if you're looking at other director writers, whatever, like Kevin Smith, like the people we've admired, like they've had to, with the art and with the commerce and with the business, they've had to make choices of what was a priority or versus also what did they have to say? Like, I don't think Kevin Smith currently is creating things that jazz me because in not a shitty way, as much as he influenced, I feel like I can do what he's currently doing. And like, I'm not saying like churning out as good of things, but like the way that we do things and the way that we are making movies, his stuff doesn't feel as fresh or as passionate, and basically the way he's filming it, it's the same way we're doing it. So I'm like, oh, okay, I kind of want to see, like him or not, Tarantino, what is he gonna do? Or like even like a David Fincher or a Christopher Nolan, or even like a
you're saying they're evolving on themselves, where Kevin Smith has faltered and he's spinning his wheels.
I think he's gotten comfortable where he goes, the priority is the brand, is Kevin Smith.
So
right. And then like everything else just feeds the ultimate business. And like not for a bad, like he said years ago where they're like, when are you going to make more movies like the Viewers universe, when he was trying to pivot away with like Jersey Girl and some his first departures. And he was just like, well, I'm just not that guy anymore. He's like, I haven't worked, like those movies all came out of, he's like, all of those stories, while not executed at that age, was me going back to my past and saying, oh, I would make this a movie. Because his first movie that he wanted to make was Dogma, which it's like, can you imagine, Hunter, like us with $15,000 trying
to make Dogma?
What would our Dogma be?
Oh, that's a different podcast.
Yeah, I know, but you know what I'm saying? It's just like, I think, and he said it himself, he's just like, I'm not that guy anymore. Those stories, and the reason why they all exist in the same universe is because it all came from the same bag.
Well, yes. I mean, I don't know if this is kind of on the same thing, but that's why our podcast and we do the indie films, is because we felt like we kind of compare indie to Hollywood versus like NBA to like college ball. You know, when you're in college, you're dunking as hard as you can. You're doing as much as you can because you're trying to get to that next level. And then unfortunately, when you get to that next level, you start calming down. You're just like, oh, I'm already here, so I don't need to do it. I don't want to, you know, blow my knee out. So I'm going to calm down.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of indie films that we have seen and the stories behind them and everything like that, where it's like, holy hell, like these are so good storylines, you know, because they're trying to get up there. They're trying to do everything. But we kind of lost faith in like a bunch of movies because we've had every movie about natural disasters. We've had every movie about every animal that kills people. We've had every movie about, you know what I'm saying? And then there was that kick where every movie was taking drugs, which got us kicked off of Instagram Live for a year because we did a movie about an animal taking drugs. But
raccoon.
Yes, that movie. One word. Clearly, there's a raccoon that's drugged out of its mind. There's like, you guys are bad.
I guess it? Well, because there's Cocaine Bear and there's Crackoon. Was it Crackoon?
And there's Meth Gator.
Oh yeah, the gator one.
But it was Crackoon. One word.
I guessed it.
Crackoon. And that got us banned for watching that movie.
Amazing.
And so, yeah. But
good for you guys.
Right. We're like, we're not backing down. We're going to watch this.
Are you kidding me?
But no, and so we love the movies. Like, you know, like I said, there's a lot of indie films that are coming out. And we'll touch base on this, you know, after we start talking about what you guys are on the podcast for. Because it you know, it made me think, listening to the stuff that you sent over. Like, I was like, damn it, you know what? That's real. That's 100% real what I have done. And it really, like, it made me really think about what the hell, you know?
Wait. Murder? Like, became a
yes.
infamous like the Michael Jordan, like the Babe Ruth of killing people?
I was like, you know what? If somebody can do it, I think I can do it.
Rocky story.
Yeah.
Again, this framing. I'm sorry, it's not on purpose. It's literally comfortability in the basement right now. But if like something was just like randomly like Ghost Girl,
oh god,
yeah, like Hat Man comes out, just like, hey,
head.
What's your Knick Knack Paddywhack?
Give
what?
That old game.
Yeah, Hunter, your fucking story, your horror thing.
So anyway, when it comes to talking about Run, which is what we're doing now,
I'm saying,
talk about a thing that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, so yeah, Ricky and I talk about this all the time. You know, it's that idea of like, if you have the opportunity to make a thing, why would you just make the thing like everything else? You know, like when Scream hit in the 90s, like everybody was making a Scream movie all of a sudden. Nobody was like doing anything with it. They were just like, we have our murder mystery slasher mass kind of killer that revolves around a holiday. Has anybody heard of this before? And it's like, what are we doing here? Like, you know,
but now we're all gonna say how dumb it is, how all the tropes are dumb, and isn't it stupid? While also just doing the tropes very poorly.
Yes, you know, and it is that idea of trying to. We have this opportunity, so let's make a thing that we would want to see. You know, like we're 40 somethings now, you know, and we look back on the films that our dads were watching, and we're like, oh, so this is imprinted on me. And now when I think about things, like it's always in this guise of like,
well, it's introspection
from the 60s.
Yeah, but like, and we've talked about that. With like your mom and my dad have a very similar
they were
appreciation of my dad would not be able to handle your mom.
No, and I don't think my mom would have anything to do with your dad.
No. I think that would be oil and water.
He doesn't look anything like Burt Reynolds, even though he wants to be. He looks nothing like Burt Reynolds.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I question often why my mom puts up with my dad, but I mean, I guess.
That's another podcast.
Cheaper to keep her.
Completely different podcast.
Yep.
So
that's called therapy. But yeah,
and like you mentioned it before, like that idea of just like, man, some of these indie films, it's like there's something usually really good here. And then unfortunately, I feel like a lot of the time, especially when I watch those movies, I'm just feeling like, man, if they just had a little bit more money for special effects, or if they could have get a better costume designer, or if they could have just got one better actor, this movie would have done gangbusters. And it's like those little things. It's like, man, yeah, but they're still making the movie that they want to make, You know,
Yeah.
like they're still creating the thing that they want to see out in the world, and that's exactly what we're
I can
trying to do.
give, I think I can give a fair amount of non-judgmental, like almost like when you go and watch improv versus stand-up, you're going to think that stand-up should be a little bit more fine-tuned and the bar's a little bit higher. Or improv, the whole mechanism of the beast is, oh, they're just making it up. Like, oh my God. And like, if they say, give me a suggestion, like they didn't know that, like, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
It's
But
like,
it's all
again,
a magic
the
trick,
bar
like
is
everything.
lower. But I think with indie films and acting, I, for one, if if everybody's kind of on board in trying to make a good movie, regardless of the talent level that they're doing,
Yep.
there's a difference between making The Room and then making like Plan 9 in The Room, which I think were both trying to be good movies. And that's why they're so good bad. And
Right. The heart's still there.
yes.
Yeah.
And so I can forgive bad acting in indie movies. It's the
Oh.
indie movies that are
Trying to chase a dragon that it'll never catch. Like, how do
Yeah.
you not have that forethought? How do you not have that foresight of just like what we're doing here is kind of impossible? You know, like that's why you don't see a lot of indie sci-fi movies or they're on a spaceship or and stuff like that. It's because, man, that shit's expensive. And when it looks bad, it's bad. You know, like
well,
it
and you
sticks
have to have
out.
a vision of it, like being like, okay, this is a post-apocalyptic or this is a thing. And it's like, well, it's going to be 2 sets because I can't like the gimmick of it is going to be also the producer and the editor brain being like, okay, it's in this alternate universe or it's this high concept, but we have to like Cloverfield, like the second Cloverfield, I thought worked really well. I mean, the acting is phenomenal. John
Yeah,
Goodman,
it's fucking John
in
Goodman.
it.
Oh my God.
Well, and the kid from Newsroom and Mary Elizabeth Winstead, I think, is the woman. It's a fantastic 3-person Breckian play, like no exit. Like you can't trust John Goodman. That movie could have been made by Cassavetes in the 70s, by
Sure.
Tarantino
Yeah, good stories
in the
are always
90s.
going to be good stories.
It
Yeah.
feels like a play. Like
Yeah.
that's the common thing of just like, well, then why is it a movie? And it's just like,
Because people see movies more than they see plays.
you can do the third act where that's why it's produced by
It's
J.J. Abrams.
sci-fi,
And they
yeah.
go outside and it's just like, oh, holy shit. Because you made us feel claustrophobic for an hour and a half, you edged us to get to that point where it's like, what is going on outside? Is he just nuts and he's holding them captive and he's an unreliable narrator? Like, we have no context of what really is going on outside.
Right.
Until you think the movie's over and they're escaping the madman, right? The serial killer, because it's a thriller movie. And they open the hatch and everything he said that was going on, like end of days alien shit, Cloverfield,
Mhm.
is actually happening. And it's just like, oh, this is M. Night Shyamalan, like, if he did it good again. Like, if he did that, like, just like, it's not all about the twist, right? Because the movie's good. Like, Sixth Sense being PG-13, which is amazing, and being terrifying, and being, I think, someone made a point on a podcast where they don't think you can be laissez-faire about spoiling Sixth Sense because there's a new generation that can see it. So,
Sure.
Honestly, I have a 12-year-old son. I think you might have met him last time. I have a 12-year-old son, and we watched it a couple months ago.
yeah, did he dig it?
Yeah,
Like,
I was like, I looked at him. I was like, "Oh, you're not impressed?" And he's like, "For what?" I was like, "That dude's been dead the whole time." He's like, "Yeah, I knew that." And I said, "Bullshit, bro." I said,
Memes, dude.
I was
no,
like,
you see the theater in '99, and that
Yeah.
same shit is like, you go back and listen to old like interviews and stuff where there are people who are just like, I knew it the whole time. It's
No
like any mystery movie. Like
Yeah.
people do that. Like casually cool. Like that's what I can't wait for is like afterwards where people were like, I knew it was that person the whole time because blah blah.
Yeah.
blah.
Never
It's like,
gonna happen.
fucking didn't.
That's what I told my kid. I was like, really, bro? I was like, so you're smarter than the entire world when it came time to watch this movie? He's like, well, yeah, he got shot in the beginning. I was like, you know what? You're grounded. Go to bed. And I was like,
Get
get
out
out of my living room.
I actually love The Village. Trap.
Salt and
which,
Taters.
I think Trap, has a very similar lineage to like Run. Like I think Trap could exist in the world of Run.
Don't hang up, but
Sure.
I haven't seen Trap yet.
No. Yeah, I would never shame.
It's like, you know what, Brian? This call is over, and then you hang up. You're just like, why haven't you seen it yet?
Look, man, we weren't going to see it because my wife and I get very few movie date nights. So when it came out, it was Deadpool and Wolverine time, which is like when Allie and I want to go see a movie, we want to see a fucking popcorn movie. Like we want to see the summer blockbuster feel of whatever it is. Big swing. If it's comedy, if it's action, if it's romance.
Yeah.
Big or horror. I've realized it has to be rated R because otherwise, like Happy Death Day, Allie and I walked out of that movie. I'm like, there's something about that movie that's pissing me off, and I don't know what it is. And I saw on the poster PG-13. I was like, that's fucking it. I was like that is it.
Why.
Every time they were getting ready to do a cool slasher moment where there should be a fucking throat slit or whatever, like they edge you and they don't give you. But yeah, sorry. Hunter and I have talked about this.
Edging. This is twice now. I've never heard you use that word before.
What
were you doing earlier?
I've been edging the whole day.
I mean, I'm excited too, but you know,
it's like this is what it's all about now. But
look,
yes,
bumper stickers.
I have it ready to go right now. Redbubble. But yeah, so you guys, we've been I'd say friends, acquaintances at least since Sweet Meats, so we've been following you. We've been seeing the whole, stand up, everything, the movies, the family, everything like that. And so now we've been, I want to say stalking you because you keep posting about something called the Run. So thankfully we were able to get on and, talk about Run. So is there anything that we can know about it? We know that
all the things, Ricky.
No. I want you to.
It's going to be a great film. We've got a great cast. We just had a huge announcement.
Yep.
And
yesterday.
Was it yesterday? It was yesterday.
It was yesterday, but I love that Bloody Disgusting and Dread Central, who refused to respond to my inquiries of exclusivity of doing like an article on the movie and everything, then did piggyback articles based off of the Fangoria because they wanted the clicks.
Yeah.
And what I do like is they actually did some research within each of their own different. Dread Centrals is slightly different than Fangoria's, is slightly different than Bloody Disgusting, because like in one of them, they clearly opened the press release that I sent them, or they researched because they included Eric Hunter and Gage Daly, co-writer names in the thing. And I was just like, oh, cool. Okay. Yeah. It sucks you didn't respond to like when we were like reached out and like we could have all enjoyed this in different ways. But like, I do enjoy that they were like, all right, what could we add to this that the Fangoria one didn't?
Sure.
Because to me, I'm a fan of this shit. And
what's
so like
the news, Ricky?
Yeah. Well, like, so I got a Google alert. And that's how I found out about the Bloody Disgusting piggybacking off of.
Oh, you didn't tell me that. That's hilarious.
Yeah. And so in the Dread Central this morning, and I was just like, what's this? And I was just like, oh, the John Squire. Oh, he didn't write the article, but they wrote an article. So Fangoria got a lot of Facebook hits, likes, reshares, comments over 100 comments within the first hour of posting
About
the
what
story
news, Ricky?
about Giovanni Freza being in the movie,
We're sitting here
playing
on the edge
Bob.
of our seats.
So you're getting the first exclusive, the full name. He is Bob Vespa, who is an international serial killer, giallo killer, in the motorcycle get up and everything, switchblade, whatever he can use, sharp object, leather gloves, riding, not a motorcycle, like whatever happened to Solange, like
But a
those
Vespa.
giallo, like bird with the crystal plumage. He's not on a motorcycle in his motorcycle get up. He's on a Vespa. Like,
We get that
and
quick
it's,
getaway.
but
Mhm.
he looks fucking cool. So what's crazy is I had reached out to Gage, who was supposed to be on this. It's just a minute 30. I don't work with this. Jesus Christ. So it's Hines and Gage fucking sitting wherever they are, replying to group text, joking about not being here.
Oh, now tell
Like-
Gage she's busted now.
Yeah,
missed
Gage is working. Hines has no excuse. Hines will bitch about his name not being
Hines has
mentioned
no excuse.
in a press release, but then like won't come onto a podcast.
So it's been 40 years since Giovanni's been on screen in a horror movie or anything of the
In a
kind.
movie.
And this will be his grand return to the silver screen with Run as Bob Vespa.
And that came about in Chicago. We were doing a Mystery Science Theater like show, and a friend of ours, Mike Flincham, had shown me this movie, Warriors of the Wasteland, which has him in a Mad Max like movie as like a kid sidekick, like very much like a Robin, but he's Macaulay Culkin, where he's building little inventions, which the Phantasm series played with this a lot, where they're inventors and he's like making explosives based off of this, like the shit that he finds. And he's awesome in the movie. And while we were in Chicago, we found out that he also lived in Chicago. And so we were like, fuck, let's just reach out to him and see if he wants to come to this show where we're,
Making fun of his movie.
in a good
kinda.
nature, just like poking
it'll
fun
be
at like
fine. He's gonna love
this
it.
ridiculous movie. I mean, the movie's ridiculous. Fred
He's gonna love
Williamson
it.
is
Andy
amazing in it.
Kaufman.
George Eastman, who just passed away, he's the villain in the movie. It's awesome. But anyway, so we reach out earnestly. We're like, this is what we're doing. Would you entertain sending us a video clip? This is going to be our first performance. Randall Kleiser, who did Boy in the Plastic Bubble, Grease, Big Top Pee-wee, he had done a TV movie called Dawn, Portrait of a Teenage Runaway with Eve Plum from Brady Bunch. He sent us a video intro. And so like we had that already in our back pocket, but we wanted to do Warriors of the Wasteland first. So I was just like, so Randall Kleiser sent us something. Like if you could send us something, like, and you live here. So if you're available, if you want to come in, like we'll pay your bar tab the whole night. And he's like, I haven't seen the movie since the premiere when I was 10. So
Yeah,
he's
I was
like,
gonna
I
say.
don't remember.
Damn.
And my sons are teenagers. Could they come into the bar? And I was like, let me double check with the owner. I think they can, based on the time of the show, because it's during the middle of the week. And I was like, yeah, they can come. And he's like, yep, count us in. So he came in like, it was a sold out crowd, which was only like 80 people in the small theater in Chicago. And he just loved everything. And just his sons were laughing at it and just like hitting their dad with their elbows and stuff. And it was just such a cool thing to see that by some weird like osmosis, while we were developing the script and we were putting out content to promote the Seed and Spark and trying to raise our budget, I was like, man, I think we could use this old short we made called Tag, which it kind of leans into Giallo. And then I could make the character like at this exit confessional. I had the motorcycle helmet and I had the gloves and whatever. I'm going to do it all in Italian. And then after that, I was like, I still have Giovanni's number in my phone. I was like, I'm going to text him and just be like, hey, I know you haven't acted in 41 years, but we're going to do this weird low budget, like no budget, like $15,000 movie in Northern Kentucky near Cincinnati. Would you want to be in it? And I have an idea of what your character would be. And he was just like, and I was like, I don't know if you remember me from Chicago, blah, blah, blah. And he replied like immediately. This is like a Wednesday night, Thursday night, like 7:30. And he replies and is just like, you know what, Ricky? I do remember you. My boys and I don't know if you remember, my teenage sons came with me. We had a great time. About
We
that.
all
Blah, blah, blah.
filed to keep you guys away from me.
Like, I've weirdly been thinking about acting again because he's a physicist.
Yeah.
And he's brilliant. He's a
Amazing.
genius.
Yeah.
Engineer brain. And he was just like, this sounds interesting. I think I'd like to be part of it. And then I pitched him the role. And I was like, we kind of been building off this. You would be paying homage to these directors that you worked with. Dario Argento in his Giallo films, Mario Bava in his Giallo films, Lamberto Bava, his son, in his Giallo films or his supernatural like demons. And we were just like, you would play this motorcycle helmet and like you're called Vespa. And like within the world, you are the non-affiliated Italian wing,
But like the quintessential, like
the number
perfect
one
red wine. Yeah. You know, like,
but then that's all it took. And he was just like, and we were like, okay, so your character will appear throughout the movie, but we would only need you for one day in this bowling alley scene where there ends up being a melee of people getting killed. I can't wait for that. But I was like, you come in and you have your moment and you speak Italian and it's like you remove the motorcycle helmet and like we see it's you, like because you still have that sparkle in your eye, like the blue eyes and like the impish like grin. You look like like you look like the fucking kid from House by the Cemetery or Manhattan Baby. And so he was just like, that sounds fantastic. He's like, because I didn't want to do something that expected too much. And I was like, we're not saying this movie's starring you. You are in the movie and you are one of the integral characters that is throughout the whole movie. But like Giovanni Freza is going to be in the movie this much. It's just his character looms large in the story world.
Yeah, the overarching. Yeah.
And so like him digging that and him being like, he's like, I'm fascinated to see how you guys make a movie for $20,000, $15,000. He's like the physicist to me. He's like, I just want to see it. And I'm like, all right. I was like, so we're
gonna make it. So
good. And he's like, yep. He's like, announce it. And so that's when I reached out to Dread Central, Bloody Disgusting, Fangoria, and I was like, look, we're releasing the poster by Mark Schoenbach. That is I love the shit that we make, but we are so fortunate that I think we have cool posters. And then
Schoenbach, we've gotten lucky with that.
Who did the Pig Mask poster? I love the 70s iteration of Sweetmeats because it represents the movie. But like Run poster, the way this is, I mean, there could be alternatives, but like that poster on a VHS box, which we also have for Seed and Spark, I can't wait.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it looks awesome. Like I don't want to say like it's not busy, if that makes sense. So like it's funny because like we did our own little like movie, and it's hilarious. But our poster too, like there's all of us are on our poster. Like we could, like you think of those old 90s action movies where it's like, all right, everybody who's in the movie, get up in here. We're going to do a selfie. And then that's, that's the entire poster. But the Run poster, yes, it's out. So we can definitely like post it, but it's super, it pulls you into it. It's like, what are you talking about? Don't hide. Like what? You know, right? It
Yeah.
says that. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, don't scream, don't hide,
hide,
run.
just run.
Caution.
Yeah,
Like,
just do it, dude.
look, we're just telling you, like, this is what's going to happen. You're part of the system. You're a lamb to the slaughter. You're part of the machine. The reason why that poster looks as clean as it does is that wasn't the rough draft that Mark sent us. He sent us a more of a generic, because he didn't know we didn't have the filming location, and I didn't want to give Mark, because like I said, he did the pig mask poster for Sweetmeats, and I love when working with an artist. One of the things I try to strive and thrive doing is trusting the thing that I don't know how to do that someone else knows how to do.
Oh yeah, doling out duties that is like, and this is just, I think this is just life lessons. At
Yeah.
the end of the day,
Yeah.
where it's like, how long is this going to take me to learn how to do this? It's going to cost me how much to do this on my own, and I can still fuck it up. I'm just going to pay somebody.
Find the person that you're simpatico with, that's like sees the vision.
Yes.
Like you got that with the Grave Garden books.
Yeah.
with the book art, like those things are movie posters, and they're just, if you took the dust jacket off a book and you stretched it out and you put it in a frame, like it's a piece of art. And I think that's what we're always striving to do. So Mark, I didn't want to give him any direction. He had the podcast synopsis you listened to
Yeah.
about the movie, and he had I think some just generalities. I was just like, so I don't want it to be mask centric, but here's pictures of the mask and blah blah blah. And he did use it, but the way that he used it with the story, and he asked some questions about the script, and I was like, yeah, man. I was like, here's the whole story. And Mark was like, cool, cool, cool. And he's like, here's what I think. And the demo, the rough draft, was a random house, creepy house on the hill. Like James and the Giant Peach, creepy house on the hill, Amityville house, like just a generic horror movie house with the run mask and the caution and that awesome, the font or the layout of the cascading, like, it was like Star Wars scroll.
Yeah.
The don't hide, don't scream, just run. That I was like, yup, fucking, and it's Midnight Run. Like, because he asked me, he was just like, do you have anything that's like script with red and it says run? And I was like, no. And he's like, but this is what I was thinking. I was like, oh man, I know where that's Charles Grodin, Robert De Niro Midnight Run poster. That's how our run looks, real close. But paying homage to these genre movies, like, and having little things like that Mark is so good at. So then when we went back to him with notes, which Mark again is awesome to work with, because he wants to execute, he wants to do his best, but also execute and tell the story that you are trying to show in this one piece of art that people may see once. But we went out to the farm where we're going to shoot, which is the Run Ranch, and we got some drone footage from Gage and some pictures and video from the clients. I took some pictures with my phone. Collectively, we had this little folder of kind of the map of the land, the lay of the land. And like we were planning out shots, and actually character and story shit came from just this, because Hunter, Gage, myself, and even Hyance, writers or builders of this world, were there together, and we're like, this is how we're going to shoot it. Like, they're going to come down here, they're going to go here. Like, we're blocking it out. And after looking at that, I was like, oh, that's the poster. It's not the generic house. It's the mask and like everything else, but it's the literal landscape we're going to shoot at. Like, it's like if the Elm Street house is on a poster, that house exists. You can go to it and it looks like that. The farm layout of the poster, you said the simplicity. Once you see the movie and you see how that is so integral to just the whole movie, like a video game. And I think that's where you come in, Hunter. Like, I think that's where I start thinking about like story structure via video games. I think it's because of you.
Well, so just to go back a little bit, like, I mean, we're talking about with the poster and just like getting everybody together. Like, that's another thing that, I feel like separates us from a lot of people is like nothing is too precious to us, So like this script's been written and done for months now. But when we finally got on location of where we're going to film for the Run Ranch, we are like, all this needs to change.
Which
Now
also,
he's going
though,
over
is
here and doing a
Eric,
thing.
that's insane. Like the script's been done for months. Most
Mhm.
people don't go into production or have a start date of when we're going to film a thing for something they've just had for months. Like we are mutants in that way.
Yeah.
Like we
Yeah.
literally run with something as long as it checks all the boxes.
Yeah. And I think we surround ourselves with people who are like-minded,
Yeah.
just like that. Like Gage is of more of a, like a more recent addition to the group. And it's like the reason that attracted him to us was because he had the same thoughts and strategies of making movies. It's like than we did. It's just like, you kind of just got to go out there and do it. Find the people who also want to do it, So like when we were on location for the Run Ranch, it was just like, oh, now this all makes sense. Like we leave things ambiguous a lot in scripts because it's like, one, we don't want to get caught up in it and have it hold us back because we don't know what color dress somebody's going to wear.
What do we have to write here to get the scene, get the meat and potatoes of the scene across, whether it's just a little bit of dialogue or a little bit of description? Because it's like, okay, the location that we're going to secure, we have to be a little bit open to that area of improvisation. It might not be the context of the script, of like the text of the dialogue or the story, but the improvisation is going to come out of being like, okay, we're filming at Annie Oakley's. Like, no matter what we thought the bar looked like in Casually Cool,
this is what it's going to look like.
This is now what it looks like. So now when we're going into production, Hunter has been part of that and now is even more because of the Run Ranch and the farm. Like we now are seeing the beginning, middle, and end. And it's really cool because it's, I think, validating why this is the choice of the thing we're doing and kind of like fast tracking. And it's like, all right, we're not forcing a square peg in a round hole. Kind of like Sweetmeats. We pivoted very quickly, and Heinz is just like,
what are we doing?
Have to do? Yeah, we don't.
We're gonna make another movie. Is what we're going to do.
No one's got a fucking gun to our head, buddy. Like, what are we doing? I'm just like, we're running out of time. Like, we literally like at this period of our lives, and it's not a mid-age crisis.
Yeah, it is. This is our midlife crisis. We're making movies.
But I think it's interesting.
But they're funny. That's the best,
that we're choosing, though, to recognize that in our own meta way, that the things we're making are also midlife crisis. Like,
yeah. I mean, again, I think it goes back to what I said earlier about like we're influenced by the films of our fathers. You know what I mean? Like growing up, it was knowing, being able to quote a Jean-Claude Van Damme film, like, and not Bloodsport and not, like Quest or something. It's just like, yeah, I remember that movie. That movie was on repeat at my house. Why? Because my dad was a big karate guy. So like, I know all those movies, and it's like, all of that bleeds through the script and it bleeds through what's on screen and all that stuff.
Just thinking about it. That was our entire childhood. Name one late 80s martial arts person. Yes. I'm pretty sure that's the only reason why I got into fighting was because my dad's like, God damn it, Brian. Have you ever heard of Jean-Claude Van Damme? You ever heard of Double Impact?
Yeah.
You ever heard of Lionheart?
Yeah.
He's like, that's going to be you. You're going to get up on those pillars and do the splits, you son of a bitch.
I did Taekwondo for 8 years.
Not to mention, like,
love the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
A better podcaster, but John Gabris of High and Mighty and Action Boys. They're talking about Rocky V, and he's like, his dad was a real hard ass. And they're watching Rocky V, and when Stallone in the street fight gets down and barrel rolls like a fucking video game to knock Tommy Gunn off his feet, Gabris's dad's just like, you don't want to do that, Johnny. He's like, you don't want to do that. No fight. You don't want to get in lower ground and like get like no shit. My dad, obviously not
Same thing.
Staten Island, New York. When that happened in Rocky V, a divisive movie within the franchise anyway, but like my dad liked it more at the time than I think most people did. And then that moment happened. He was just like, Ricky, he's like, you never want to give up the high ground. He's like, you don't want to get lower. He's like, that's a poor move. He's like, you're on the ground. He's like, you can punch the ground. And he's like, and you can use your whole body. He's like, you're going to get shit beat out of you.
No, I think that
this is a life lesson.
Well, I think that he just didn't want you to do that in New York because isn't there a bunch of rat shit everywhere? He's like, Ricky. He's like,
yeah.
He's like, if you got your ass whooped and now you have rat piss on your favorite shirt, he's like, there's no coming back from that, man.
I didn't grow up with Van Damme. Van Damme is a new addition via like Heinz and stuff. So like, it's a man. It is fucking
Chuck Norris, Bruce Lee,
but no, like Van Damme. That's a perfect example of a dude, whether it was coke induced or whatever, who was trying to make the best thing that showed him off the best.
Do you know what happened to him? What I've read, what happened to him? So when he made Bloodsport, he made, I don't know how much millions of dollars he made, but Bloodsport came out. This is what I read. So somebody's going to fact check me, like, Brian with a B, you suck. But
looking it up.
Right. So apparently Jim Carrey made Ace Ventura around the same time that Bloodsport came out. And then the rumor, I don't know. Again, you're shaking your head like, hell no. I don't know when Ace Ventura.
Think those years line up, but I think Ace Ventura, Batman Forever, and The Mask and Dumb and Dumber all came out in the same year.
Yeah,
and it's like a weird.
That doesn't mean
like,
it got filmed then. I mean,
but there was something that,
but that's like 94.
A rumor was that Ace Ventura made him like $50 million. Yeah. And so then Van Damme's like, I want $50 million. And everybody's like, you ain't $50 million.
You're talking Street Fighter. Not Bloodsport. So he had already made Bloodsport. He had already made Lionheart. Which Lionheart movie that really jacked it up because Universal Studios picked it up
and it was
and distributed it. And
Universal
Lionheart is
a great movie.
We in a text thread with me, I literally was just like, we got to watch. Like, we have to do a Nick Hines. When he speaks the truth.
Oh,
like,
sure.
We were watching all the Van Dams, and I was just like, man, even the bad Van Dams that
there's
Simon
no such thing
I had seen, or like Knockoff with Rob Schneider. I had seen at a drive-in with my dad where it was Studio 54 and Knockoff.
What are you talking about, dude? He's trying to find knockoff jeans. That's a big dude. You know how pissed you'd be if your kid was like, hey, Dad, can I get some Jinkos? And then you get him G-Mos. He'd be like, you know what, Dad? Never mind.
No. My parents, like, I was going to flea markets with my parents, and we were going to like the knockoff like Tommy Hilfiger.
The Nike. And,
yeah, at the Richmond flea market.
Dude, I get so sad there. Sometimes I'll stay up and like I'll be on. I don't even know what I'll be on. What app I'll be on. And it's like this movie starring this, and Van Damme. And I was like, you should put his name first, you sons of bitches. Like, it's like these people you've never heard of. Oh, yeah, there's one guy's in there named Van Damme. You're just like, how dare you?
The movie that is pre-Kickboxer, because Kickboxer is his real, like, I'm a hero introduction, because he had already left Predator, where he was fired / quit.
Because he didn't understand it.
This wasn't big enough.
It wasn't about him. He's just
wasn't big
why
enough.
movie called Predator? I Predator. Why about this other European guy?
He was in that movie. He was a backup dancer in that movie.
Oh yeah,
yeah. He was in
movie where he's a villain. It's what you're talking about, where they now promote it that he's the lead. I can't remember. It's about a kid. It's very
No Retreat, No Surrender. That's the movie.
Look, I love Cobra Kai.
It's called No Retreat. Yeah, No Retreat, No Surrender.
Yeah, he's the villain of like he's the henchman. He's like the odd job. Bane
And
guy.
he kicks the dad's knee and it hurts his knee. He's like, no, that's a mild
They're doing
inconvenience.
martial arts class in the garage. Yes.
And you're
Yes.
like,
Again, I
Man.
know these movies. So Nick Hynes, we get through Van Damme. We're watching Stallone. We're watching Cobra. We're watching Over the Top. Because like some of the Stallone stuff and Burt Reynolds stuff, Hynes hadn't seen. But now we get through those and I'm like, all right, well, Seagal me. And he's like, no. And I'm just like, I need to Seagal.
Under Siege 2.
so
So we
pretty
start
good.
with Under Siege 1. And I'm just
Gotta
like,
be on a trainer.
who is this noodly arm motherfucker? Like
Dude.
he takes off his chef coat and he looks
Ponytail.
dehydrated. Like, what
Yeah,
is this? Like Tommy Lee Jones and Gary Busey, amazing. It's a great Die Hard movie on a boat, which I'm sure is how it was written. But Steven Seagal,
Probably.
the only thing I knew Seagal from was Executive Decision with Kurt Russell.
Oh, yeah.
Aired 2 nights in a row, where he gets Janet Leigh at the beginning. He gets Drew Barrymore. Like, you don't think, like, if you know who Seagal is, like, it's just like, oh,
It's a
holy
big
shit, he
deal.
dead. Yeah. And so
Yeah.
when we were watching it, I was just like, who's that? My dad's like, a guy with a ponytail. Like, don't worry about it.
Don't look at it.
Yeah,
Dude.
don't want to be like,
Don't
You
give
know
them
what,
any time.
completely blow your mind. So for a while we were in Shanghai, China, and my parents were there, and they're like, here's the
mind
TV.
blown a little bit.
I'm glad you're sitting down. So they're like, here's how you work the TV. Here's how you work the TV. And I was like, all right. So we're going through, and he's like, this channel is literally dedicated to Steven Seagal movies 24/7. And I was like, get the hell out of here. And he's like, I'm dead serious. Steven Seagal, I guarantee he's probably made 7 million movies, because we were there for
Just for China.
God, how long? Like, I don't know, a month. And there were movies that, like I said, I am 100%, 98% sure that I've seen every 80s, 90s action movie. Steven Seagal had movies that were playing 24/7. And I was like, I have never seen this movie.
So Paul Scheer on How
It's
This
amazing.
Get Made talks about this, where like Bruce Willis, Seagal definitely was the poor man's of this, where Bruce Willis in the early 2000s after Die Hard 4 was doing a deal where if you paid $1 million, he would
Jesus.
appear in your movie
Good God.
for one day. And so
No.
like Cincinnati, he would fly, like he would literally fly in, do these things, and he wouldn't know his fucking lines because he just fucking make up his dialogue. And he was
or read a
like
card.
Nick Cage, right? He's just like a porn actor. He's in
Boom,
something
boom, boom.
every week. Yeah. And the investors, you go, well, Bruce Willis is going to be in my movie. Give me $2 million. Well, how much is Bruce Willis? Well, he's $1 million. But so Seagal for a while was doing like the low rent, I guess, probably like produced by the
Indie
government
Horror
contract.
movies.
Well, no, where he was in his like dyed black wig, long hair with his painted on, overly tan, and his gi, like me.
Dude.
Was always an assassin, like with a big gun, and he's just like, and he was definitely filmed like 20 movies
Oh my God, I think
as that
Seagal's in the
same
room.
character.
Yeah.
Steven's right here on the podcast, everybody. You just heard him shooting.
He's
Yeah,
changing his
but-
last name to Gore.
But anyway,
Dead
like,
serious.
but like, it's amazing that like that's what he's reduced to. But like, if you go back and watch his movies, that's like
That's what he was.
But yeah, was there ever
Yeah.
a Prime Seagal? Like, there's Prime Eastwood,
No,
there's
he's
Prime John
Sunday
Claude, there's
afternoon.
Prime
Yeah,
Stallone.
he's a Sunday afternoon action film.
Did you
Like,
hear
it's-
the funniest story I've ever heard of him is I think he was doing the Saturday Night Live episode, and he was like outside the studio and he was sitting down on the ground crying. And everybody's like, what the hell? Like, why are you crying? He's like, I just read the best manuscript I've ever read. And he's just crying. There's like, damn, like who
That's a
wrote it?
good
He's like, I did. And everybody's like, what the fuck? So he wrote something and he was crying. He's like, this is the best thing I've ever read. And there's like, what the hell? And then they probably said something. He broke his arm.
He's considered one of the worst hosts of all time. And like writers have talked about, like Paula Pell, who is just on Good Hang with Amy Poehler, who's a fantastic writer at SNL. She's just like, my least favorite host were the ones that would come in and thought that they were better at my job.
Yeah.
Dude.
And
No.
she's like, I'm not saying singer, I'm not saying sports figure, I'm not saying actor. I'm just saying
Comedy
anybody who came in who was just like, well, you know, it's funny.
Yeah.
He's like, well, let me stop you right there.
Yeah,
I'll tell you.
That's the new favorite line. Well, let me stop you right there. What if I just came in and broke everybody's arms for 8 minutes straight? Like, you just did that, though. Like, all right, well, let's do round 2. But yes, that's we amazing.
I mean, that is Stallone, right? That is Ryan Coogler with Creed, where he's just like pitching Stallone to do another Rocky movie, except for he has to be the Mickey role, right? He has to be the two. It has to be a two-hander. It's Michael B. Jordan.
See, so then this kind of goes into when I listened to the stuff that you sent me over. And that's the part where I was like, you know what? I've never thought about this until you sent me that stuff over to listen to. And then like I started feeling like a bitch. I was like, dude.
We don't have to.
Right? No, let him explain. How did you feel like a bitch again?
Yeah. Like I was like, you know what? Yeah.
No, but it's so the whole third act of Run, it's Rocky getting back at it, right? Like Run has realized that his persona and his face has been taken, and it's been corporatized, and it's been capitalized, and it's being, it's sold at a Dollar General, like little stuffies of him, and it's just like, man, what is this shit? Like,
but man, you know what I just thought of the other night? It also is the monkeys. And like
again with the monkeys,
I know, but I'm always thinking about
no influence,
but like with our dads. But like, my dad didn't like. I glommed onto the monkeys for so many more reasons than my dad, who lived through it in real time, like in IRL. Like,
damn it, IRL. Are your kids in bed, or did they just make you say that?
So they're not.
If he says 6, 7, I'm hanging up.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Anna turned 7 next week, so she is going from 6 to 7. So
that just boosted our ratings right there.
But no, like, so when I love the monkeys for all the reasons he loves, but I love it, like we were talking about, like us being inspired by our fathers, is our dads, in a sweet way, in their ignorance, in their naivete, that not that the kids are smart, like they think they're smarter than me. We should be, like they should want us to be. And so when we see the things that they showed us, we see the extra veneer. So like with the monkeys, I love that it was all business, that they were not, the group was not put together or inspired by art. It just happened to come out. It was
a business proposition.
Yeah. It was just like, they, like you were talking about, like indie taking big swings. Bob Rafelson and Bert Schneider were like, fucking, like, what if we did the Beatles like on fucking TV? Yeah. The thing they don't talk about is there were 5 other pilots that were in production that same year that the Monkees got picked up, that like Mickey Dolenz auditioned for. Like if you go in deeper into it, there was like a Beach Boys one. There was a folk like Peter, Paul and Mary. Like they were trying everything they could, but the Monkees broke through. That to me is so indie, with all the nepotism, like even that comes from, and like how they get their foot in the door. But like all of that stuff, like influenced by our dad. My dad didn't ever think of it that way.
Oh.
Or I mean, like the movie Head, where like as a kid, we only had it on VHS or on Betamax, sorry. And it was recorded from TV. And I wouldn't watch it that much because he'd just be like, I don't think you like this. And it's like, it's not like the TV series. And he didn't say it's written by Jack Nicholson, and like, because that wouldn't have meant anything to me. And like, years later, I'm getting into the music, and I'm like getting into the evolution of the group, and I'm watching Head, and I'm just like, oh my God, this is fucking brilliant.
Hmm.
This was lightning in a bottle that happened in 2 years. And Bert Schneider and Bob Rafelson, along with Jack Nicholson, were just like, all right, we got to kill this. We got to kill Frankenstein. Because we want to do other things and we can't be associated with it anymore. How do we do it? We fucking exploit it like we did from the start. So we open the movie with them all jumping off a bridge committing suicide.
Jeez.
And we don't market the movie with pictures of the monkeys. We picture this one dude who's not a member of the monkeys. It's just a big picture of his head. We call it Head. And we don't even say the monkeys are in it. Like, and the only reason we want to call it Head is for all the reasons of the psychology of all of it. But is when we make our next movie, Easy Rider, we want the tagline to be from the guys who gave you Head.
There it is.
Right. Yeah.
I'm like, wait, is it Tuesday already? Hold on.
Ooh, I'm on a schedule. I'm on a schedule.
Oh, we have to see you next Tuesday, Joke and Run.
Oh, yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Yes. But I don't know if there's anything else. I mean,
so StevensPark.com. Our crowdfunding is going on right now. If you want all the latest news, follow that. Be a part of it. Be a part of Run. Pre-order your ticket to see the movie. It's not a donation. It's not charity. You know, you're getting something. Ricky mentioned it before, the VHS tape. Like, that's a huge thing. Like, all this stuff, you know, it's going to be great. And you're going to want to be a part of it.
Yeah, and you having listened to that podcast, like, and thinking that the concept is cool, is there anything about it that you're like, oh, I'm worried that they won't be able to do this, or like, so you picked up on the Rocky of it.
Are you fishing for notes? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah. Well, I mean, why not? We're in pre-production. Like, let's take like everything with a grain of salt.
I'm just busting balls.
Yeah, basically, like what, the skeleton of it? Is that what I could call it? You know, the whole concept of it.
You can spoil anything because it doesn't.
No, I think like at the end of it, there was that question where, like, you know, when they do these remakes and people go and watch it, you know, are you watching it because you want to show love to the original? Or are you watching it because you like it? And I was like, God damn, like, you know, the original was amazing. And so you try to watch it the second time, but you just watch it because the original was good. And so then you want to see if the second one's good, you know, and sometimes it's a swing and a miss, sometimes, you know, but I never really thought a bit about that until you guys brought it up, and that the end question, you know, like, why are you going and watching this remake? You know, and so like even just hearing the story of Run, where all of a sudden there's, you know, like I don't know, like we're getting older, and so we'll have like some of our songs, and there's like, oh, this is classic rock, and I was like, you get the hell out of here. Juvenile was not classic rock. They start playing, right? There's like a Home Depot commercial where they're playing Ludacris, and I was like, get the hell out of here.
Oh, the Ozempic commercial gets me every time, because I was just like, this song's not that old. Why did you sell yourself to a pharmaceutical company?
That's what I'm, you know, and then you think about it and you're just like,
that's how it's always been.
But then you start thinking, about like what we were talking about earlier, where it's like nobody comes up with a new idea except for indie film.
Yep.
You know? Except
but even we though are like, okay, so if given the opportunity, would we say this is Leatherface or this is Michael Myers? No,
but no, your whole concept is 100% different.
Yeah, but also we get the luxury of playing in that sandbox and like playing with the visuals, you know, playing with the things that you're aware of. But the thing that we're trying to do is to make sure that it's safe, that even if you don't have those landmarks or those touchstones, that you still are getting the story. Yeah.
Another amazing thing that we absolutely love in indie horror films, like for instance, everybody does the whole the camp. Okay, we're going to camp this summer, blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
And then there's always a killer and there's always a camp. But in Hollywood movies, everybody just bends over and gets fucked by the killer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's been a couple indie films where, you know what, in a life or death situation, you're not just going to get fucked by this killer. You're going to try to stand up, hopefully, and try to fight your way, you know, die standing up type of thing,
It's
you know?
so funny that you're saying this. Gage last night on the first interview that we've done since the release of the press release through Fangoria, he was just like, yeah, I have this idea of being like in the montage of Run at the beginning where we're going through his heyday, the 70s into the 80s to the commercialism of it being the biggest that it ever is. The fucking, like, everybody knows who Hollywood Hulk Hogan is. Like,
Yes.
when he makes that announcement, it's just like, it's not a good announcement. Like, it's just everyone knows, like, for good or for bad. But, like, Gage was just like, I would have come in for a little bit of the montage as, like, a Tommy Jarvis badass with a shotgun, be like, I'm going to take down Run. And then he's like, immediately get fucking killed.
Yeah.
Like, circumvent the expectations.
Yep.
And I'm just like, yeah.
Yeah, like there's some...
That's 100, because you're not the lead, bro. Like, Run
exactly.
is not named after you.
Yeah.
Like there's a couple movies, like I said, where they're at, you know, the camp and somebody sees all their friends being murdered and they pick up a bat and you're like, I don't know you, but you've never picked a bat up in your life. And so when they swing the bat and try to kill the killer, you're just like, aw, at least you tried, you know? And then you know, but it's like good for that person because that person is showing real, like we love movies that you can put yourself into those people's shoes.
Yep.
You know, like you would, like, I've been in situations where my fight or flight syndrome kicks in and I 100% fight, you know, but then there's other people, like in all the Hollywood movies, everybody's like,
I'm saying, like, Supernatural comes in where it's like, oh, you're in Fright Night.
Well,
you're
I think
living
it's more,
next to Jerry.
I think it's more of
Like, you
the thing that-
fight.
I think it's more of what thing that we talk about where it's like it's the hat on the hat, right? So it's like in any movie, in our opinion, it's like you got to make one big swallow of something. Okay, it's like the day that you know of
the
today.
initiation. What is the initiation?
What is the thing
The
that I
buy-in.
have to believe to make this movie make sense?
Freddie
And I think a lot of the
exists
issue,
in your dreams. If you
Yes.
if something happens to you physically in that dream when you wake up, the manifestation
happens
of
in-
what
yeah.
happened, it happened. Yeah.
that's your hat.
That's
if you
the buy-in.
if you're just good for that, then the rest of the movie is going to be going really well for you.
Those are the
And,
rules.
like, I think a lot of times these movies, specifically with horror, it's like, well, it is supernatural, but it's also a cryptic artifact, and now it's also this thing, and it's like
the
I've already
Wishmaster?
been lost.
That's the Wishmaster is like it's got
Yeah.
so many good things
Yeah.
going for it, but then it's a hat. Or I also feel about Jeepers Creepers. Even we
Love
talk about
that.
this,
Yeah, great.
but I
movie.
think it's a hat on a hat on a hat. It's like it's a song. It's a dude in a truck. It's a flying. Like,
how did he register his truck with that not that novelty license plate?
and he
You
just
know?
needed the
Eating-
eyes
eating you?
and
He
Justin
eating
Long
you?
and then all those gay guys on the bus and like it's
That's the second one, Ricky. That's the
So
second
what's
one.
funny is the only scary movie that really scared me as a kid was the Freddy. Like I wasn't afraid about Michael Myers or Halloween or Jeepers
Yeah.
Creepers, anything like that.
Tall,
It was just
Tall
Freddy.
Man, Angus Grimm, and Freddie. Because Angus Grimm, because I was a convention kid, I met when I was like 6, and they had just filmed Phantasm 3, and we were in one of Peter Cushing and Vincent Price were supposed to be at the convention in Baltimore. And they had to back out. So they sent like this letter that they put in the lobby that you could read and be like, I'm so sorry, but I'm old and I'm dying. Angus Grimm was there and they had filmed Phantasm 3, which when you go from Phantasm 1 to Phantasm 2 and you didn't live from 78 to 88, you get them because you're born in an era where they're already out.
Sure.
When something is now in the future and he's just like, yep, we just made the next one. And it's just like, when is it coming
Why?
out, buddy? Yeah, like I'm just
Why?
like I've been living with these two, and these like from Phantasm 1
Why
to 2.
is there another Star Wars movie?
Well,
Why?
but before that, before the fatigue
Yeah.
of like when Phantasm 2, I always say like is the Terminator 2 from Terminator to Terminator 2. Like just the world and how big the special effects and the action or whatever. So with Phantasm 3, I was meeting Angus Grimm as like a 6-year-old kid at this convention, and Angus looks like the tall man, but like gentle. Like Jebediah Morningside in Phantasm 4 when they show him in the Civil War, and he's just like, oh, are you here? Like, oh, are you a traveler? Like Angus, like just normal Angus. And he's such a sweet, kind man. And then my dad's like, can you say boy? And Angus is like, has he seen the movies? And my dad's like, oh yeah, I'm a bad dad. And he's just like, and just without makeup. That's why him and Freddy, the logic of Freddy in Dreams and stuff, but Angus Grimm is the tall man, because without makeup, without anything, he contorted his face and became the tall man in front of me and just went, boy. And I was just like,
damn.
At 6 years old.
Yeah. But
Seton Spark, help us make this movie.
Yes. But no, that was really like just making, even thinking about that last one of why are you watching these, to show homage to them or anything. So again, it's another great concept, great idea. Like, I don't think I listened to both of those things that you sent over, and I was like, I don't think that there's ever been something like this, you know? So it's another one of those awesome things where an indie person comes up with an idea because you guys are breaking the mold. You're not doing the whole cookie cutter, like, oh, we need to do this. We can't have anybody be a hero. Everybody needs to do, everybody needs to die slow and everything like that. We love movies that, I don't even know how to say, like, are realistic, where you can put your feet into their shoes and be like, you know what, this is what would happen. And so, like I was, kind of mentioned the whole thing of, if you saw all your friends die, you wouldn't be like, all right, just kill me next. Or you would try to at least do something, Yep. So with this movie, like I said, the ending of it where they asked, well, not the movie, sorry, the audio that you sent over, the last question of it, like, why are you watching these? The Rocky movies, the Terminator movies, how many Texas Chainsaw movies are there? Are you watching it because of this? Like, even like RoboCop movies. Did you watch the new ones because of this? Run.
Betty Boop. They're making a Betty Boop movie.
Yes, they're making all these.
I have to go plug in a charger. Are we gonna do another?
No, I think
round of talking. Or are we closing?
I think we can probably close it up.
I know.
Okay, we close it up. Sorry, my battery's dying. I didn't plug in a charger because I'm stupid.
No, you're all good. But yeah, so can't wait for it to come out. I know that we've seen it. I think we were talking before recording that people thought that it was coming out in September, but that's actually when you guys are starting it. Yes. So then I believe, because I read that it's coming out in 2027. I believe it said late 2027.
Yes.
And that will all be dictated on like what is the life going to be in the next iteration after it's filmed, after it's edited, is distribution, or if it's going to be I think something we're going to try to do is forewall it as much. People like Giovanni being part of it, and Gary Kroger, and like there may be other developments of horror icons, or something part of the movie. Regardless of that, we think the life that it could have could be associated with those entities. So maybe we do more horror conventions and we go with the movie. So like we're going to screenings and we're trying to get that grassroots thing going of being like, well, you watch the movie, but you're going to watch it with the biggest fans of the movie, which are the creators, me, Eric Hunter, Gage Daly, Nick Hine. Like, that's my dream, is that however it's being screened, we're with it. So there is that kind of like we were talking about, like friends in the basement watching the horror movies, these movies
We're
that
making
we
the
grew up
movies that we want to see.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just
Yeah.
like that to me is the coolest way to then be like, all right, join our cult. Like help
Yeah.
us like make
Please.
talk about
Yes.
Jean-Claude Van Damme. The next thing I would want to make is like after Run is Pizza Boxer, which is
Oh,
our version
yes.
of a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie.
3 of them.
So, but yes, we cannot wait. Again, you want to throw out your where to get you, how to follow you, where to help out, where to do everything. What?
Where to get
Your
ya?
your physical
website-
mailing address.
Yeah. So the website's theinky.com. The crowdsourcing funding is on seedandspark.com. You can just search for Run. Ricky's on Instagram, Glore Ricky, right? Or Ricky Glore.
Yeah.
Did you fix that yet?
Laura Ricky. I can't fix it. Some asshole took it before me.
I'm
Son
on
of a
Instagram,
bitch.
Eric and Hunter. But yeah, reach out and help support the indie scene, and
I
let's
think
get this movie made.
I think you and I both also respond to every slide in our DMs in a good way.
We'll see.
Boom.
Oh,
We'll
do you
see
not?
about that. No, I'm just keeping the door open in case. Just in case.
I respond to. And I'm
You
sure
would.
did.
You love the
I'm dying. I'm sorry.
Damn.
Okay.
But
Bye,
all right.
Ricky.
Thank you guys, and we will see you next time.
Between rated B, rated the podcast sensation, unveiling truth, sparking conversations where every story